Good evening YouTube, welcome back to another Division 2 video. I'm PTT and tonight we're going to be looking at what changes the Division 2 will be making to our beloved Dark Zone. Before we kick off, let me remind you that all the information you may need on the Division 2 is on the official Division website, and a link can be found in the video description if you want to check it out. With all that aside, let's just jump straight into it. So the Division 2 will be launching with not one, not two, but three Dark Zones. There will be the Dark Zone East, and this will be the largest of the three Dark Zones, and will be an area that is highly overgrown and set around government parks. Then we have Dark Zone South. This is the Division 2's smallest Dark Zone area and emphasises on close quarter battles, inside and underground building areas, and many areas that are perfect for setting an ambush. And finally we have DZ West. This Dark Zone is split into two parts by a large canal and will be a setting that mainly provides medium range engagements. Overall guys, no matter what your playstyle is, I'm sure you will find a Dark Zone that suits your needs. Next, let me talk about something I have been dying to talk about now for so long, and that is the Dark Zone Checkpoint Protection System. This will come in the form of several turrets that will not only shock rogue agents that are too close to a checkpoint, but also absolutely obliterate them in a matter of seconds. Seriously guys, this is a very nice move by the dev team, and I am loving the fact that there will no longer be any checkpoint camping in the Division 2. Next then, let's talk about gear normalization, because I know that this is something many of us have asked for a very long time now, but I am also aware that some people may not be happy about this. So in the Division 2, two of the Dark Zones will have gear normalization and one will not. The one that doesn't have it, we will cover later in the video, but the two that do have it should offer a better PvP experience for those players who are either not the best at PvP or are not too into the whole build system where you get to maximise your gear's stats. Now, this could be attributed to a multitude of things like not having too much time to put into the game, not having the knowledge to optimise your build, or extremely poor RNG and ability to get the god-rolled gear required for extremely powerful builds. Now, no matter what your build is like, your stats will be somewhat normalised. Now, don't think that this immediately means there is no point in optimising a build guys, because you will still be able to get a slight edge on other players if you have a great build. But the normalisation should bring the experience onto a more even playing field for those who don't, and of course it does bring in a more skill based element. Now, I said earlier that there was a Dark Zone where normalisation wasn't a thing, so let's cover that now. Welcome agents to the occupied Dark Zone. Have you ever hoped that the dev team would bring back friendly fire? Have you ever wanted a Dark Zone where your rogue status doesn't show up to other players? Have you ever wanted real endgame Dark Zone activities? Well, now you have all three. Occupied Dark Zones are dynamic server-wide events that seriously change up the way Dark Zone plays. Friendly fire is turned on, your rogue status is hidden from other players, normalised gear is switched off, checkpoint turrets are disabled, and some of the best loot in the game comes up for grabs. If you're a lover of real PvP and intense Dark Zone action, then these events are for you. Now, we are currently awaiting more information on this topic, but let me just say that these events will be the epitome of risk and reward, and trust me when I say you are going to want to get involved in these. Right, let's move on to a topic that I know many have been waiting to hear about for a very long time, and that is the new rogue system. The Division 2 is changing up the way in which you go rogue. Now we have three rogue levels that you will need to remember. The first one is Simple Rogue. This means you're a non-lethal agent, but you have been up to activities that may be somewhat controversial to the SHD rules. This level will grant you with a grey rogue skull above your head. Next, we have the Disavowed Agent. This indicates that you are a lethal rogue that has completely gone against the SHD way and have killed other players. You are now awarded with a red skull above your head. This system has several levels to it. As you kill more players, it will increase until you hit the final level of rogue status, Manhunt. This is where you become a server-wide target and get a nice shiny gold skull above your head, and your position is relayed to every other agent inside your Dark Zone. To obtain this status, you will have to have killed many other agents, so are labelled a serious and extremely dangerous threat. To get rid of this, you can choose to do several things. You can die, but I wouldn't recommend that one, or you can run to a Manhunt station and either remove or increase your Manhunt status. Now, removing it does exactly what it says on the tin. It removes your rogue status, but if you choose, you can actually increase it, and then you disable the manhunt station you are at and have to run to another one. The upside of this is better loot gains. So it really does come down to what kind of a player you are and what your team wishes to do. Overall, I personally like the new system, and you can damn well believe that PvP will be returning to the videos and streams come March. Next then, let's mention the fact that the Dark Zone will now only be populated by 12 players. Now, I know some of you may want to go a bit mad and bitch and moan about this one, but honestly, it does feel really good. No more ganking by supergroups, no more 1v20 situations, and if you had a good team, then the battles can become very intense but still relatively equal. I urge you guys, just give it a go before making up your mind, because while yes, there are less players, the good far outweighs the bad, and I think that many people will like the changes when they finally get their hands on it. Up next, let's talk about the new perk system that the Dark Zone will implement. Now, inside the Dark Zone, your level matters even more than it ever did before. Now, a new perk system comes into play that allows you a various amount of perks to accommodate your playstyle. From PvP focused perks to increased contamination loot space, you can customise your Dark Zone experience depending on your level and preference. Now, of course, with every positive in the Dark Zone, there is a negative, because the levels lost inside the DZ will now affect the ability to have these talents active, and dropping levels can have a serious effect on your abilities and more. Now, what and how exactly this perk system works remains to be seen, but be assured, come the beta, I will be sure to break all of this down even more into helpful guides for you to watch and learn from. Finally now then, let's talk about loot and extractions. In the Division 1, all loot needed to be extracted. In the Division 2, that is no longer the case. Certain loot can now be equipped straight away and will go directly into your backpack, meaning if you die, you won't lose your loot. But the really good loot will still need to be extracted. Now, this does two things. One, it helps you level and gear up, but two, it means that if you see a player with loot on their back, then you know it is damn good loot, and a serious decision needs to be made about going rogue and stealing that loot for yourself. Now, there was a lot of information in the video, guys, so please feel free to leave me your thoughts and any comments in the section down below. I will do my best to respond to each and every comment going forward from here. Hopefully the information here was helpful and obviously informative for you, and you know, if it was, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. As always, let me take the time to say thank you for watching the video. Have a good evening, and until the next one, I'll catch you all soon.